What's up, guys? It's Jimmy V, mortgage originator specializing. I scared Taylor for a second there. Jimmy V specializing in VA loans, mortgage originator, and today I'm going to talk with you about the pros and the cons when it comes to purchasing a home, utilizing your VA home loan benefit in the year 2023. So ladies and gentlemen, put your tray tables and seat backs in their full lock and upright position. By the end of this video, I think you're gonna know exactly what to expect with a VA loan, number one, and number two, what are some of the drawbacks, because after all, nobody's perfect, not even the VA loan. And if you remember an old video that I did, I talked about how, well, at the end of the day, VA loans are pretty darn close to being perfect. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do here is just get started. I'm gonna draw, one of these old school T-charts. And oh, by the way, I almost forgot. If you found that this information is of value, do me a favor, show your love or clicking like on the video, feel that I've earned it. Also, if you wanna learn more about VA home loan benefits, consider subscribing to the channel. It helps the channel to grow. And lastly, comment with your questions down below. Like, this is the only place where veterans can get all of their questions answered quickly and efficiently when it comes to the VA home loan benefit. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna write pros, okay? Over here, we're gonna write cons. I'm gonna talk about the pros and the cons of the VA home loan benefit. So let's talk about the pros first, right? So the first thing that I want all of my veterans, active duty military to know, a VA home loan never expires. Do me a favor, say never expires. Never expires, right? I did it with you. Never expires, never goes away. Veterans who think that maybe they used their VA loan back in the early 90s, it's like, I can't use it again. Wrong. Your VA loan never expires, and you can use it, and this brings me into my second point, which would be a pro, right? You can use it as many times as you would like, as many times as you would like. So not only does it never expire, you can use it 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 times throughout your home buying career or more if you choose to do so. Good to go. And the other thing that I think is really neat and really cool about the VA home loan benefits, like, look, not only does it never expire and you can use it as many times as you would like, but did you know that you can have more than one at a time? I can't tell you how many veterans reach out to me from this channel and they're like, dude, you can have more than one VA home loan at a time. It's like, yes, you can. Heck, you can even have more than 2 or even 3 VA loans at a time if you have enough entitlement. So I'm gonna write that down here. I'm gonna say more than one at a time. You can have more than one at a time. And if you wanna learn more information about that, well, you can check out some of my other videos where I explain scenarios that allow veterans to put a renter in their current home, level up, go buy a new home, more desirable location, bigger square footage, and possibly even do it with no money down. And here's the other neat thing about a VA home loan is that it has, well, what's referred to as no PMI, okay? No PMI. So Taylor, here's the deal. In the medical field, they have a terminology called, like doing wrong, and it's referred to as malpractice, okay? Well, here's the deal. I consider veterans that take out FHA loans compared to VA, and the mortgage originator puts them in there. I consider that malpractice. It grinds my gears. It gets me hot, you guys, because in my opinion, there's absolutely no reason that a veteran should ever take an FHA loan if they qualify for a VA loan.
And what you gonna do?
Over a VA. And the reason why is because FHA has something called PMI, private mortgage insurance, and you're gonna have to pay money on yourself every month to the lender in the event of default. It's like, who in the heck wants to pay that, right? Not you, nor should you, because you are entitled, dadgummit, to your VA home loan benefit. Good to go. And that's exactly why I want you to use it, because it's going to save you money when it comes to utilizing your home ownership goals, right? And utilizing this VA benefit that you are entitled to. So it doesn't have any PMI. And the other neat thing about the VA loan, you guys, is it comes in all different shapes and sizes. You with me on that? So what do I mean by shapes and sizes? It comes in a 30-year option, okay? Comes in a 15-year, and you can even use it to refi. I hope you guys are following me along on this, but there's all of these different types of options that you can utilize to, how would you say, custom fit this mortgage to your individual needs, right? So I could go on and on and on about the VA home loan. The fact that it's 100% financing. Let's write that up here. 100% financing, no money down, okay? Gosh, my writing's terrible, but I think you guys get the point. And there's all of these neat things that we as veterans have access to, and the fact that it doesn't have, follow me along on this, it doesn't have a minimum loan amount requirement, or I should say maximum loan amount requirement. So you as the veteran can purchase a home up to any purchase price you would like, assuming that you have sufficient VA entitlement, because there's no caps. There's no caps on VA loans. In 2020, the Trump administration rolled out something called the Vietnam Veteran Blue Water Initiative Act, and inside of that bill, it lifted the caps on VA loans. So now we as veterans, you want to buy $1 million home with no money down, assuming you have the credit and income, you can do that, right? Which is the beautiful thing about VA home loans. So I've talked about the pros, right? There's many more. If you have questions about your VA home loan benefit, make sure that you comment down below. Now let's talk about the cons. Dun, 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 right? Jimmy, everything was going along so well until you brought up the cons of a VA loan. So what are the cons, right? Let's talk about that for a second. Depends on who you ask, right? And I've learned over the years that cons on a VA loan may or may not be true. And there is a lot of, Taylor always likes to put a sign up here that says bum scoop. What that means, right, is basically bad news that permeates throughout the marketplace when it comes to our VA home loan benefits that, how would you say, circumvent or derail you and I as veterans from taking advantage of this glorious benefit. So what are the cons? Well, first let me say this, or maybe the myths, right? Your VA loan doesn't take longer to close, all right? In fact, it's not harder to use, right? As long as you have two particular forms called the DD-214 and a COE, Certificate of Eligibility, along with all of the necessary items and information, you're gonna be able to use your VA loan. So a lot of the cons that you may hear are bum scoop. You guys with me on that? And the second thing that I would add to that is that the seller of the property, sometimes they don't want to accept our offer because they think that they have to pay for the fees in conjunction with the loan. So I guess I would simply say here is that the cons is a lot of bum scoop when it comes to utilizing our VA home loan benefit, because here's the deal. At the end of the day, VA doesn't teach this stuff. Number one, mortgage originators don't understand it. I know that's scary, right? And number three, right, if mortgage originators don't understand it, how can we expect our veterans and active duty military to know it? It's like they don't. And that's the reason why I'm here, to make sure that you guys are educated when it comes to utilizing your VA home loan benefit. All right, so the other thing that I would say about a con, if you really wanted to kind of roll your sleeves up and say, well, the VA loan has something called a VA funding fee. So I'm gonna write that down to be fair, VA funding fee. It's like, man, Jimmy, I don't have to pay that on a conventional loan, but here's the deal. You do have to pay if the loan amount, or I should say loan to value, is greater than a 80%, you do have to pay PMI on a conventional loan. So at the end of the day, yes, you have to pay a VA funding fee, but you don't have to pay PMI. So in some regard, it could wash out. You guys with me on that? But let's talk about the VA funding fee, what it is, how it works, and why it's necessary. Generally speaking, the VA funding fee is a percentage of the loan amount. It's about 2.15% for a first-time user and 3.3% for what's referred to as a subsequent user. So if you're using your VA loan for the first, second, third, 10th time, first time 2.15, second time 3.3%. Now, if you're doing basic math here, let's say that you're using your VA loan for the third time, you're gonna pay that 3.3% VA funding fee, and if you're rolling that into a $200,000 purchase, right, it's gonna be about $6,000 and some change that you're gonna need to roll into a loan. But at the end of the day, veterans, remember that you still have to pay what's referred to as an upfront mortgage insurance premium on an FHA loan, number one, and number two, if you finance more than 80% of the home's appraised value on a conventional loan, you're gonna need to pay PMI. On VA loans, you don't ever have to pay PMI. And the last thing that I would say here, referring to VA funding fees, you're watching this video and you're a service-connected veteran. The VA funding fee is waived for life. The VA funding fee is waived for life, meaning that you are never, ever, ever, ever going to have to pay a VA funding fee as long as your rating is 10% or greater. Good to go? So you can see pros outweigh the cons, okay? But at the end of the day, a lot of the cons are bum scoop that have kind of manifested in the marketplace, and as a result, we as veterans are told things about our VA home loan benefit that are simply not true. So I hope that you found that this information was of value. I hope that you were able to take away some key facts and pieces of information, benefit that you've earned and should use throughout your home buying career. I guess I would say this in ending. The only time that I don't recommend a veteran consider using a VA loan is when they're putting down 100%, all right? My name's Jimmy Vercellino. I'm not hard to find. If you have questions, drop a comment down below, or you can always email Jimmy VA Loan.